Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Down to Mars. Of course, I'm your girl, Bex.
I'm Ness.
I'm Lola Day.
I'm Abs. I don't know what camera I'm looking at, but I'm looking. Hello.
We're in a new surrounding.
I know.
Yeah.
New studio again. No, should we
I'll give it to addressing. We like to switch it out. We're going to be somewhere else.
We've got commitment issues. Something's not right.
We're looking for our home, our base.
Our dream studios. So if you want to give
Fingers
us some frees,
Let us know. Hit us up. Yeah, but I think we'll be all right here. Hopefully, fingers crossed.
Yeah, we're just finding our feet.
Yeah.
tell us, innit? Tell us what you think. Is this studio cute? Out of all the studios that you've seen Down to Mars in,
Which one is your favourite?
Which one is?
Comment below.
Okay. Should
Okay.
actually be our third.
Fourth.
We
No,
say
third.
Fifth.
Fifth.
Well, in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah,
fifth,
yeah.
innit?
Oh, wow.
Fifth.
Is this our? Oh yeah, it's our fifth.
It's okay. We'll get there, guys.
Yeah,
we'll
we
get
will.
there.
So what happened to the one that is the fifth that is not out? Oh,
No,
we
actually-
shelved it.
Yeah. We've
Oh,
done
you're
one in
talking
each
about
studio. We've done 3
episode.
episodes in 3 different studios.
Well, that's like we've got like we got stuff in the.
We got stuff. We got stuff.
We got stuff in the
Yeah, then
archives,
maybe it might come
guys.
out at a later
Yeah.
date. We never know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we don't even know.
As you can see,
We don't even know.
we're figuring it out.
Okay, cool. Should we get into today's topic?
Should we check in? Should we just check in?
I think
check-
we
you wanna
started
do a
that
check-in?
last time. I thought that was quite good. I like
Okay,
that.
let's do a check-in.
How is everyone?
You go first. You.
Do you know, I'm all right. I've had an all right day. I feel like I've been like kind of running up and down, a little bit hectic.
Okay. Want to tell us why?
Well, you guys know that I'm just a last minute babe.
Okay,
and I've
yeah.
really been trying to change it, but we're not getting there at the moment.
It
so
adds spontaneity.
yeah, but do you know what it is? I need organisation in my
Okay.
life. Like I lack it and I crave it. And yeah, I'm just all over the place. I was just running around. It's Friday. I'm trying to find an outfit for Sunday. Like it's
Yeah.
just a bit crazy. So
Are you
yeah.
going on Sunday, Narissa? Can I hear
We outside, baby.
Outside.
I'm gonna have a couple bevies, and yeah, that's it. You know, I
love that.
I'm all right. I'm looking forward to the weekend, baby.
that? Love that.
What about you? How are you?
I'm okay. The week's been hectic, to say the least.
Gets like that.
Yeah, I've got exams and stuff like that, so I've been revising. But you know what? Just keep my head down. Glad to see you guys, of course. I hate that it just takes like us to record the
I
pod.
know.
I
To
hate
link
it,
up.
but it's also like
The only way,
because it's
something-
an
yeah.
essential, isn't it?
Yeah.
But it's also relevant to what we're talking about, but we won't give any spoilers just yet.
Yeah, we won't give it spoilers.
But it is kind of relevant, don't you?
Yeah, definitely is. It is. It is.
Anyway, how are you?
Yeah, same. I think week's just been hectic. Just busy, on the calls, on the go, trying to merge everything into one. But you know what? I'm all right. I'm all right now. Today is just nice to just sit down, like just actually sit down. No one's able to call me.
Yeah.
Just
A
me.
little time out.
And the
Yeah.
girls. Yeah.
Abby girl?
I'm okay.
Hey.
No, I'm good. I've come straight from work. I feel a little bit all over the place. Am I looking at it right? No, but yeah, I'm good. I'm good. I can't complain. Yeah, it's a good week. It's a positive week. Yeah, I'm okay.
Good. Everyone's like, I'm
Just
okay.
okay.
I'm okay.
Just okay.
I'm just okay. Yeah, just okay. I'm not fantastic, but I'm okay.
That's good. That's good.
Don't worry, don't be concerned.
I don't know
Nothing
if
to
I keep
do
talking
in that accent.
I know, it's so annoying.
I know, but
we
once
all
I
do.
get into it, I can't come out.
I know.
Sorry.
We actually do all it.
We always
Yeah,
do.
I got a little
What
voice
is
as
that?
well.
It's American. It's like
I know, but why though?
I feel like it's like it's not nerves.
my
Is it
own-
nerves? Is
I
it
think it might
nerves?
be
I think it's
Because
nerves.
you know your voice goes high pitched when you're nervous.
Yeah.
so.
I'm not nervous.
I
though.
don't feel
I'm not
nervous.
Y'all don't scare me.
That's the voice. I feel like it's like an inner
I think
voice.
it's just a.
I think I do it as like a filler.
I think
You
it's
know
like a
when it's like
relatable
okay.
thing.
I think it just
Like,
makes all.
it's just familiar for us.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? So we do
When
it.
you go into like patois, that's like where
Yeah,
it's
that's when I'm in my real element. Half Jamaican, half Nigerian, and get.
Anyway,
Okay,
that's enough.
let's move on.
Rein it in.
Okay, so obviously we've done a little check-in. Everybody's saying that they're okay, and it's quite fitting for today's topic, I think. Obviously, when we spoke in a week, we kind of just like talked about what we think was relevant, and there's been so much going on in the media, and I'll just say directly, like in regards to like violence against women. I think there's quite a obvious mental health crisis going on in the UK, in London specific. Well, not London specifically, actually, as we've seen, which we all like feel so strongly about. So I thought, today will be a good chance to talk about it. I know you all have strong feelings about things that everybody's seen, everybody's talking about. So yeah, before we kind of like go into experiences and like a bit deeper, I don't know if any of you like have any strong thoughts about the things that have been happening over the past few weeks specifically, or even just more in general, what we think the issue might be in regards to maybe like mental health crisis.
I feel like, sorry, was you gonna?
No,
go
go,
on.
go.
I feel like there must be like a strain on certain services that maybe we don't necessarily know about.
Yeah.
And I think, like we're in like a financial crisis that puts pressure on other areas, or even can push people. Like with mental health in itself, I feel like it just takes a switch in people's brains, and sometimes
Absolutely.
no, but it's true. Sorry, I was thinking.
She said absolutely.
She was okay. You lying?
The switch is switching. No,
But that's not even funny, to be fair. But like living in these circumstances, maybe it's pushed a lot of people, and maybe not necessarily just that, but I feel like it's just heightened everyone's personal. Do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
capacity.
I think that's not a maybe. That's a like
Definite.
definite.
Yeah.
Like 100%.
Yeah.
100%.
And I think since COVID as well, I feel
gosh,
like
yeah.
COVID really heightened that, and we saw more of a peak of mental health cases. Because,
Yeah.
for example, from a childcare space, for example, I've seen that when a lot of people have gone and returned back to nurseries, for example, you see a lot more special needs children, but parents are not always able to identify it in the first instance, and neither are carers, to be honest with you, in terms of the actual childcare providers. And I can only kind of see that to be mimicked in the mental health space, and we don't have enough people, I don't think, anyway, from what I see anyway, that are specialising in these kind of cases where we can provide support in our communities for those kind of instances. So it's quite interesting because I think it's doubled up on both sides, special needs and then
That's
mental health
actually
in adults as well.
Interesting that you mentioned that, because definitely COVID, obviously there was that disconnect a lot of the times with children, especially when you are picking up on special needs, or whether that's ASD or whatever, ADHD, anything that requires extra support. Usually one of the first places that is picked up on is school, or nursery and whatnot. And when kids are
Not at
not at
school,
school,
yeah.
they're just at home. And then it's like, as a parent, you can't even really take them to, you can't say, I want to get an assessment, or you can't have that conversation with the school for them to see if they're picking up on anything. So definitely, I think that backlog is still present, as you said, in childcare, but also mental health. I don't even think it's a backlog. I think it's just a thing of like,
No money.
we could deal with it.
Is it no money though?
I think probably, it's a sector that's quite underfunded.
Yeah,
Okay,
and
in
they're
that sense.
privatising,
Okay,
the NHS is, they're privatising so many different parts of it, slowly, kind of like under the radar.
Yeah.
So, and mental health is because it's not, I think, a visible thing, it's easier for them to kind of disregard it.
Yeah.
Which is what we've seen as well, because I feel like there was an instance where, for example, your little sister Narissa, where she saw something and she was able to witness something and she was able to seek help for it. But when I look at the case a bit more, with just read more about the situation, you realise that he was dismissed from. Right, if I'm correct me if I'm wrong, guys.
I feel like this is a complicated one, because I think when it's like crime related,
You don't want to
sometimes people play on.
I was going to
not
say, you don't want to
everyone.
just say, oh.
Yeah, like
Fair
I
enough.
hate to dismiss things
No, of
as
course.
mental health. Obviously, that was a
Yeah.
factor in.
100%.
I mean, as a backstory, the situation was a man kidnapped a young girl on her way to school and assaulted her, and throughout the case, he kind of said that he was suffering with mental health, and obviously had like a psychiatrist report, etc. But I think that's the flip side of things, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because it's very easy when
To
you
say.
do something wrong to say,
To
okay,
say
I was
it's down to
suffering. Do you know what I
this,
mean? But partially maybe, but at the end of the day, some people are just bad people. Like, do you know what I mean?
And that's true.
This is the thing.
It is. And even before, when you're saying about the backlog in mental health services, I think it's hard because not only is there a backlog, I think the doctors are not that aware. As somebody who feels like they are suffering with mental health, I don't know if people, and I don't want to because I'm not a doctor. Doctors,
Yeah,
I have
yeah,
great
yeah,
respect
yeah,
for
yeah.
doctors. Like, don't get it wrong, but I just, from what I see and like scenarios like personal, I don't know if they even know at that ground level how to direct people who could be suffering with mental health.
to how to do it.
Yeah.
I think it's also they know the pressure that the service is under.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in order to kind of try and restrict it, it's like there's like a quota. So maybe for the month it's like I don't. And again, this is assumption, but if we're gonna go off personal experience, not crying.
Oh my God, are you okay? I love that emotion. No, it's good. Yeah, give us emotion.
Relevant to the subject, this week I had a check-in with, so I have my doctor, but then I also have like someone that I see at my, not someone that I see at my doctor's, so she's not my therapist or anything, but someone that just provides a little bit of extra support, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
So I had a conversation with her because for the last couple of years, I've had an idea that possibly I might have ADHD. Now, again, this is not I don't know if this is definite, but there are a lot of symptoms that kind of
Point to that.
that I possess. But again, it could be something else. A lot of women are misdiagnosed with like depression, anxiety, when actually
It's ADHD.
it's ADHD, but it goes undiagnosed because it presents itself differently in women as opposed to men or children. So I had a conversation.
Greedy.
Girl, yeah, stop that face. I was having a conversation with her, and she's like a mental health professional, and she was basically saying like, I believe that you do. She's like, but the waiting, if you like get a referral for ADHD via the NHS, because so many people now are realizing that they have it and are like trying to get diagnosed.
Yeah.
The waiting time is 18 months.
18 months.
It's ridiculous.
So from I fill out the form, which I'm still yet to do, but anyway,
Life.
from I fill out the form, that's still an 18-month wait before actually like being able to, if it was to be medicated or to be like have like specific therapy for that, 18 months.
And I hear that as well, because even you saying that,
Yeah.
I hope my friend doesn't mind, but I'll talk to her before this airs. But a friend of mine has a son, and I'm not sure actually what he is, like what his condition is, to be honest with you. But I know that she has for years been trying to get him like into the right school. I think he has I want to say a learning difficulty, but
Okay.
apologies if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
I'm not 100% on the issue, but I know that she speaks a lot about the way that she's had to wait, the help that she like basically has to like constantly
push.
and just this constant battle. So even you saying that it's going to be 18 months just for you to get in the room with somebody who can give you more assistance. Imagine, I mean, you're an adult and you're fully functioning, not saying that your potential condition is not affecting your life.
No,
but a child who's getting started in life and can't even get to the right
Kind of help.
all
Speak
the
for
support.
themselves, advocate for themselves.
Yeah.
That all of that pressure falls on the parent.
Of course.
And also,
Of course.
I feel like, I don't know if it's a thing like trying to, you know, like after you come out of prison and stuff, like they try and get you back into like society.
Like rehabilitation.
Rehabilitation, that's
Yeah.
the word. I feel like that's somewhat what they do as well. Again, I'm not an expert, I don't know. But they're near where I live, there's like a hostel.
Yeah.
But everyone in the hostel has like some sort of like mental sort of, I don't, it's
They
not an
need extra
assumption.
support.
I don't know if
Yeah.
it is the right name for it, a halfway. I don't
know the name.
Halfway house.
Is that like before you're actually released to like?
I think there's something for
I
specific
think
like
it is.
mental health.
Okay.
I don't know what the term. Okay, I don't
But
know.
anyway, but sometimes like, I've this has been there for years, and every time I've walked past over the years,
supported living.
Yeah, that's
it could be. I've never seen. Have I seen people come out of there? That's like, I don't know. But anyway,
Girl, you wouldn't know.
I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know. But like, there's people that you can see that are like, people avoid them because they can see that they're not quite. I don't know if I'm saying the right things. Like, not
No,
like,
I know what you mean.
Like, they are mentally challenged.
Yeah.
Am I allowed to say that? Is that
I don't know if that's the right phrase, but you don't mean harm by it.
no?
They just have
Yeah,
mental health
yeah,
issues.
mental
Mental
health.
health,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
they suffer with their
Like,
mental health.
you can just like a lot of the time.
You can notice it. Maybe it's something that you can just see
Yeah,
and
but what I'm trying to
notice.
say is that they are out in society, which is okay, and that's good and well to rehabilitate everyone and whatever. But I think that's what sometimes is that step is done maybe too soon for some people. I don't know if I can say that. I don't know if I'm
I
saying
hear
the
what you're
wrong
saying. I
thing,
think on the
but-
back of what you're saying, I think it might be good for us to actually think about the stigma, because you even said like when people see those people, you know, they might step away. And why is that? Why do we do that?
Well, the only reason why and I can hold my hands up.
Yeah.
I feel like there was one time that I was walking and they were like following me, but I don't think like when I looked at them, when I turned around and looked back to say, is everything okay? Because I'm thinking,
don't let me get dark.
Literally, like,
it's not
when I turned around, I could see they were it's like they were spaced out.
Yeah,
Like, I don't know if they had been smoking or whatever, but it was like they weren't, maybe they didn't even realize the concept of the speed that they were walking at. They didn't intend to be, you know, underneath me, but
And I think it's not always a stigma. I think sometimes just the assumption that, okay, maybe, just need to be a bit more mindful, because we had that situation, for example, when we was out, where was it that we went to?
I don't remember quite where we was, but I
Girl, you know where you
But we was out, we had gone out
in the yard party.
It was at the Movado after party.
I called in the night and went to bed, and they went out.
And I just heard about it over the call. But no, he was out, and there was this guy who had either taken drugs or maybe had mental health issues or whatever it may have been, and he was just moving very shifty. Like, you could see that he had things on him that he should have probably not had and maybe had picked up in the vicinity of the space. But his demeanor, everything was just like, this is not an okay situation. You're making me very, very uncomfortable. And I remember looking at Mr. like, am I the only one that's...
No.
I'm standing... We're in close proximity here. You need to back it up, because you're making me very, very nervous.
Well,
and he's walking around just
in our
brushing
personal
past
space. Like,
what was he doing?
Staring at us. Like, so come, like, we're obviously in our group.
giggling.
Yeah.
think he was on drugs
He's
or
just
something? I
coming,
couldn't
he's just
tell
looking
you.
in our face. Or if you look at him, he's just staring at you. Like, or he's coming and
Made you feel
brushing
really
past you. Like,
And then
standing
doing
so
his
close
hands,
to you, you need to
shuffling
move.
around.
Yeah. And then we snitched.
Yeah, we had to know. I can't lie to you. There's one thing. I have a child at home, and I've got a very, I got a life to live. So that's what I'm saying. It's not maybe a stigma, but sometimes just the assumption that you're not okay.
You'd rather not take the chance.
I'd rather not take the chance, because the same thing with me. If I'm
differently.
yeah,
I think in that
literally.
scenario it's a bit different as well, because like obviously I'm not sure if you're avoiding saying, but you guys recognize that he had weapons on his person, like visibly.
Yeah.
So when you recognize that,
He had
you
a
can
knife
notice.
in his sock. And
Yeah.
a
I
I had to
knife
go.
in his-
We had to
in
go.
his waistband.
He was everywhere.
Yeah,
He was jiggling and jangling.
So when you notice something like that, and you can see somebody's mind's not 100%, you're not on a level playing field with them. So if
And we
anything
went to security
happens,
the first time.
Yeah.
And they just
like they couldn't find him, so it was like, okay, well,
He kept
we can't
disappearing
find-
into the
he
dance.
he knew. I think he knew that we was like something's not right.
Uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And then the last time the security come
And pounced on him.
Yeah, he got escorted. He got escorted out. Because even though I knew that there was something not quite right, there was going to be a point where I'm gonna react.
of
because
course,
100%.
of
you
course.
can't be
Yeah.
pushing up yourself or whatever.
So close.
Realistically, if you can't conduct yourself, you shouldn't be in a dance. You need to be
100%.
out. And you got
Keep
weapons
it
on
for a good
you. Are you
time.
mad?
Yeah, it's not about your jingle. He literally, when the security guard come, he basically paced off, and you could just see stuff jumping out. I think about two knives that I saw had come, and I'm like, oh, okay.
You just
No
want to be
problem.
dropping your knives all over the floor.
The security didn't do their relevant checks in the first place.
And that's a whole
So-
other conversation in itself.
Yeah.
That's
Anyway, we'll
a
stay
whole
on
other
top
conversation.
of what we're
Yeah,
talking
no, but
about.
it's true though. It's
Sometimes
true.
it's not stigma. Sometimes it's just the assumption that you need to kind of just.
Well, not even assumption, like true life, because even what you're
100%.
saying, I think what's been going on lately in the media, like we've seen obviously like, I don't know if this did this. We've seen, so there were the girls that in Stockport, the young
three little
girls. I don't
girls.
know actually, you guys might know if the killer did have mental health, but I just assume
I'm
that I
not-
don't want to let him
I'm not
go on
too
the scapegoat of mental health.
But there's been quite a few
There's been
attacks
quite a
on
few
people.
Yeah, but it does
Yeah.
make you question, like, are people, is everything
Okay.
yeah, genuinely, not because people can't just be genuinely evil, but you have to wonder, like,
See, this is interesting, right? Because I was having a conversation yesterday, actually.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, we're going to film a podcast tomorrow. And they were like, oh, what are you guys talking about? I was like, this is what we're talking about. And he was basically like, he was like, I get it to some extent. He was like, but I also think the only reason why it seems such a, and again, these are his views, not mine.
Yeah.
But the only reason why it seems such a problem at the moment is because
The media.
we're aware of it. It's just
Yeah.
awareness. So it's not to say that anything new is happening.
Yeah.
And it's not to say that these attacks are necessarily increased or these crises are happening more often. But it's a fact that social media, everything, we can watch it in real time.
Yeah.
You know, people are bloody rioting in where all over the country.
Yeah.
We can go on TikTok live and you be there for ourselves. You know what I mean? Whereas throughout the years where things like this have happened,
Also covert.
you had to wait for like the newspaper or
Yeah.
for it to come
Yeah.
on the 10 o'clock news. So it's a little bit different, which I I actually get to some extent.
Definitely.
I mean, I suppose like when we all learnt history, we learnt about Jack the Ripper. Like he couldn't have been all the ticket going around killing women. Do you know what I
it's
mean?
true,
Like
yeah,
so
it
that
is.
maybe that I guess was like.
But even what you're saying about social media, what it does allow then is agendas to be perpetuated. And then you have to wonder, is this really what's going on? You know, we can't always believe the things that we're being fed.
100%.
And maybe they are trying to push an agenda that mental health is this big scary thing that's on the rise and watch out. We don't know whether that is the case, but obviously this is just what we get fed on a day to day, you know, and I think that doesn't help sometimes with things like stigma, with things like the fact that the service is already underfunded, you know.
The prisons, there's no space in our prisons. So,
Well-
like, there's no space in our prisons. So
Yeah.
then people are complaining about the fact that prisoners are being released.
Yeah.
But then it's like, okay, well, there
do you
are
convict
people
them?
that need to serve time for heinous crimes, you
Pick
know,
a-
like
pick a fight, pick a
Yeah,
battle.
like, what are we supposed to do?
And that's the thing as well. I think even in the prison service, I mean, I would love to get someone on to talk about this more, but I think in the
Yeah,
prisons,
maybe
a
we
lot of
should.
the prisoners are suffering with mental health. They're definitely not going to be receiving any.
Understandably.
Yeah. And that would just, being in that scenario when you have mental health and you don't have any access to services, that's just going to, you know, grow that
But then
issue further.
isn't there some? And again, I don't know. I feel like I'm talking a lot of things that I don't know.
No, but it's good. Because nobody knows. So it's just
But,
like,
even with like the whole like being in prison,
Yeah.
aren't there things that like the officers do to make your mind go crazy, like 24 hours
Lock up.
Yeah, like
of
that is
course.
enough to send. I couldn't manage that, you know. Like I think I would actually. That would be it,
Girl.
I would be like,
Don't go to jail.
because it's like certain things that they do to you
Yeah.
to make you.
They antagonize you.
It's like torture, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
So and then you wonder why so many people that
Well,
are
not even.
coming out
I
with
don't even
other-
think that has to be jail though. Look how many how many videos are resurfacing lately or surfacing of the police and them you know
goodness.
committing
mad.
violent
Yeah,
acts
yeah,
on people
yeah.
during arrests or whatever. Maybe I'll talk about it on another episode, but I've actually had the experience
Oh my God.
of being violently, what's the word?
God forbid.
Yeah.
No,
yeah,
actually,
I do
God
know what
forbid.
you're gonna
No,
say.
I've actually had the experience. I've been kicked in my back by a police officer, and I was a child at the time.
That's crazy.
Like, I was actually 14, and I was booted in my back, which is like,
At a time when there was no social media.
yeah, there was no like if social media. I mean, someone's probably got the video on their BB, but like
BBM.
that was a
Throwback.
real thing, and then it's like you're still seeing now that
still goes on.
happening, whether somebody has committed a crime or not. I think that's a whole nother conversation in itself,
Yeah.
really, because that is also linked to the violence against women and
Yeah.
all of that stuff. So yeah.
Well, going on to that violence against women, I think that is something as well that we need to be very mindful of, because I would say, okay, maybe it's the media feeding us a story, but having experienced certain things lately, the attitude towards women that I'm seeing and I've experienced, like, is wild. Even I was driving in Brixton and no, this was, it threw me because, like, I've just never had that experience. I was driving in Brixton, a guy was driving like in the bus lane, and he wants to merge into my lane in front of me, but he's not got no signal, so he's just moved mad, but I'm still driving in it, so obviously he hasn't cut me up. He's tried to cut me up.
Okay.
So he's then gone behind me. My cousin's driving behind me. We're driving in a convoy. So she's let him in behind me. He's driving mad, like in my
what's tailgate
and whatever. And then went into the lane next to me, come up to me, stopped, wind down his window, like,
Listen to the story.
should I swear? Can we swear? Do we swear on this podcast? I'm not
we
gonna
beep it
swear.
out?
We do. Well, I swear.
He's like, you effing B, you dumb B, like, da-da-da-da, are you mad? Da-da-da, what are you trying to do? I looked at him, I was like, you okay?
Yeah.
Like, you wanted to come into my lane. You're in the bus lane.
And I
You
said
didn't
no.
signal.
And I
I would have gave you way.
Either way, I
But
don't want to give you
I don't wanna give you way. I just
But
want
that's
you
what
now.
men try and do. They
But
try
then-
and bully women on the
No,
white
And then he starts talking about
you
my
think because
car.
you're a man?
He's talking
Like,
about the car. He's like, do you think because you got that car, like, the car is not no
your only
Bentley. I'm not
security,
driving
baby.
no Rolls Royce.
Yeah.
And that's your, like, what
That's
you
your only
want from
security,
me?
sweetheart.
Like,
And I said, no, you can't go in front of me. And by law, if I said no, you go away, you got to stand out.
but in that situation, I wasn't even rude. I was actually confused because I'm actually like, are you okay?
It really doesn't that warrant that reaction.
And then I thought,
But then it's
if I
mad-
move mad,
Yeah.
are you gonna jump out and move mad on me? I'm in the middle of Brixton High Road, you know.
and it's like
My
you shouldn't
reputation's on
even
the
have-
line.
in the end.
you gonna move mad? Because I'm gonna have to. My cousin's there. But
It's like, you shouldn't even have to think that way, though. You actually shouldn't. You shouldn't have to.
And this is what I'm
think
saying.
that way.
Yeah.
Innit? Somebody's coming being disrespectful.
Yeah.
Like, but you know, there's so many times where you have to just. Sometimes it's like, okay,
You
let
have
me
to swallow it.
hold
You have to
myself.
swallow it.
Yeah.
Let me hold myself because I don't know what he's gonna come to do.
Yeah.
How he's going to react. What? Like,
And the truth
where's
is,
this gonna
you're
go?
just like, okay, you're a strong woman, yes,
Yeah.
but you're just a woman.
Yeah,
Like, if
yeah.
a guy takes to
Just a
you,
girl.
there's nothing.
This is
to
the thing.
do.
Sometimes you just have to and that's hard because it's like you think, well, no, sorry, I'm not letting this run. But
Yeah.
the reality is sometimes you have to think about how
It's-
this can go.
Yeah, and you really have to be thinking about your safety at all times. And
Yeah, go on.
no, I was just gonna say that leads me to a story that I have, and this. I haven't told this story. If you got me on Snapchat, then I've told this story on Snapchat at the time when it happened because I was so in shock. Like about 2 years ago now, I joined a new gym which was near my house. And
Oh, I've got to send another story.
what story? Oh yeah, that's
right,
another one. We got a lot of stories.
She's got a couple of stories.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Start with the other one.
Okay, so this story.
This is a gym story.
This is the gym story, yeah. So obviously joined a new gym a couple years ago, and what?
You know, so I was chewing and I don't want it to be on the mic.
Oh,
big greedy, big big.
back to the story. So I joined the gym a couple of years ago, and when I've joined, obviously when you join the gym, you're supposed to have like your sign up session or whatever, when they show
like
you
your
around
induction.
or whatever. Yeah, but I was already quite like confident in the gym, so I felt okay using all of. I know how to use those machines. Not that I've actually used them, but I know how to use them anyway.
Body
So I was
buying
cool.
this.
Yeah. Whoa, not yet. But yeah, so I was meant to have my sign up. I didn't have it. I'd been using the gym like a few times. Obviously, I'm on a treadmill one day, and I look over and I see a boy that I went to school with, innit? He was like a year above me or a couple years above me and whatever, innit? And yeah, I see him and I was like, oh, okay, like, you're right, blah, blah. He's like, oh, I didn't know you go here. I was like, yeah, I've been here for a little while, blah, blah, blah. The key word is that he said he didn't know that I go there anyway. Okay, cool, fine. He's like, have you had your induction yet? So I was like, no, I haven't.
Oh, he works at the gym.
He works at Oh, sorry, yes. He works at the gym. I no longer go to this gym for a whole different situation we'll get into on another time. But he works at the gym, yeah? So he's like, oh, like, have you had your induction? I'm like, no, I haven't had my induction yet. He's like, oh, like, I can do it for you if you want, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, cool. He's like, give me your number, like, and then I'll, I can get you booked in. So I'm like, okay, cool. I'm thinking it's all innocent. Like, I'm not actually thinking it's anything odd. So obviously he's giving me my phone. I'll put my number in his phone. I've put my number in his phone. I put my number in his phone and my number is already saved. So
What's your number saved as?
my number is saved as
What does mean?
no, genuinely, that's what I'd like.
Has he see this podcast?
Maybe he will. And
does
if he does see it, I really hope that, he actually think like that was a mad move.
Yeah.
It was a mad
So
move,
then,
innit?
in that moment, when he saw that, you saw that your number was
So
saved.
obviously he's standing next to me. He's seen me type it in and see it. And I'm like, oh, you got my number already? He's like, and I could see on his face like, shit. I didn't mean for this to happen.
Oh no!
And he's like, I think I might have took it. I might have saved it from the group chat or something along those lines. Which is like,
Group chat.
babes, GDPR is a real thing, Like, if I really wanted to, I could.
should.
Yeah, I like. But
Yeah,
at the time,
yeah.
I was so thrown off, like, and it was late at night. I'm in the gym. There's not a lot of people in there, whatever. So I literally just grabbed my stuff, walked out, and I was like,
what just happened?
yeah, like and then obviously it's like I know him, like I actually know him
In real
outside
life,
of the gym.
yeah.
Like I knew you before then. You've just made it awkward. And then it's like for the past couple of years, obviously I was going there up until last month. I've been going there, and obviously I see him from time to time, and I say hello and whatnot. But it's like
Weird.
I never really got clarity on that
Yeah,
situation. Do you
yeah.
know what I mean? But it's like, what was you? Why?
How?
Why did you have my number saved? Because you hadn't said anything to me. Like you hadn't. It was just weird, didn't it? And I think that's just another situation where it's like I could have been like, what the fuck? Like, why have you got my number in your phone?
It could be if he was actually a weirdo. That could be quite a dangerous situation. Do you know what I mean?
100%.
Yeah.
But
quite
to
freaky.
me, like you are a weirdo, innit? Because
Yeah.
you have my number saved for what reason? Like,
And then it's almost like him trying to chat to you. Is that like what was
I
he
don't
hoping
know.
to
vibe?
gain?
Yeah.
I don't know, innit? Because
It's very calculated.
from then, you never contacted me about actually doing the induction or whatever. So I know that
It wasn't.
it wasn't that. Do you get what I'm saying? It was a thing where you got caught out and you thought, oh, okay, let's just
Leave it
act
now.
that this didn't happen. Yeah. And that makes me feel even more uncomfortable, like genuinely. So yeah, that's just one instance of mine.
What was the other story?
Was you gonna say another
Do
story?
you want me to yap the whole?
Hey, tell us more.
Hey girl, like,
Sorry,
what's your story? Do you have a story?
Violence is up by like against women by like 50%. I saw the other day.
And I heard it was again,
wow.
that was statistics, probably, I don't know, not factual, but I even heard that after the World Cup as well. That
World Cup.
The Euros, I think you're talking about. During the Euros,
during
I was
the
thinking World Cup
Euros,
happened.
I think it was
violence
Oh my
increases
gosh,
every
violence
time the
increase.
football's on.
Yeah, but
Like,
that's
it's
crazy though.
Yeah.
Mad.
That's
Frustration.
nasty work.
I don't care enough for anything.
It is, but it isn't though, because it's like
This is obviously happening every day.
Sport is associated. Obviously, people watch sport.
That's mad.
Naturally, they drink alcohol whilst they're watching it. If their team loses, they're going to take their anger out
but forget
on the
that,
women at
that's-
home.
That means
Yeah.
that's not only the first period that it's happening. It's happening
no, of
quite
course not.
consistently.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
a lot. Even you just said there about like alcohol, people going to be drinking alcohol, they're going to be moving mad. Like, I think alcohol and recreational drugs have had a huge effect on mental health.
Yeah.
And that's something we haven't really talked, like we could talk a lot about it. We all have our own experiences with recreational drugs, just in terms of like, like alcohol, we all drink. You definitely do. Tequila Queen. Didn't know that.
But no, sorry. On that topic, I've noticed, and I don't know if it's since having a child or just maybe my age, but now.
Oh, how old are you, darling?
I'm actually. I won't forget
Spring
all that
chicken.
rubbish. I'm a spring chicken,
Yeah,
but
for
no,
sure.
in my.
Guys, we need to own our age. Like,
I'm
happy to be
28.
28.
I'm 28.
Yeah.
I'm 28. But now when I drink, when I drink now, I feel like I have like a 2-day like crash where like my mood gets really low, and it doesn't matter what I drink. It doesn't like
So imagine you're doing that every day. How would you feel?
Well, exactly.
So imagine all these
but I'm
people.
like, I don't even feel like I drink like what I used to drink when I was younger. Like I might have like
A couple.
5. Is that a lot?
Hey, girl.
4, 5, 6.
Or in a day.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Shut us down.
No, but I don't think I have like. I'm not like besides myself.
Yeah.
But when I wake up the next day, and then it's almost like by the 3rd day, I feel like I'm back to me again. But for those 2 days, I just feel like,
Whoa.
yeah,
Can't be
like
bothered,
I'm
yeah.
shaken, and I'm like you said, imagine if this was my daily.
Every day.
Yeah.
How did I used to do it?
Yeah.
As a young child, and I think even
I
that.
do
like,
wonder. Like, I do actually wonder because it
Do
definitely.
you get that as well?
It hits different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know what?
feel
I think
down
now I'm a
sometimes.
lot more conscious of what I drink. Whereas before, I feel like I would drink.
We get
Not
very
anything,
drunk.
but yeah, like you
drunk.
might have a bit of this, a bit of that.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I know
down.
now, like I ain't mixing my spirits.
I'm only drinking expensive.
Yeah, well, I am not mixing my spirits. I don't drink fizzy alcohol, no bubbly, no champagne, no prosecco, and yeah, I have to make sure I drink on a full stomach, like all of these things that help with it. And but I think it's what you drink, like.
Yeah.
I think I get it with everything. Even you guys said, "Oh, tequila doesn't give you this. Tequila doesn't give you that."
Did you drink tequila just for the whole night?
I think I did.
No, you didn't. I know that I think
I
means
did.
no, because you had a little bit of something. Like, I know you didn't.
Maybe it was
Abby.
a shot, one shot.
Exactly.
I don't know.
Exactly.
Anyway, it doesn't agree with me very much, but I still do it, just
Here and there.
exceptionally. Here and
Yeah,
there.
but even like the
Back to what you were
recreational-
saying, yeah,
Yeah,
the-
recreational
sorry.
drugs. I even see one boy from my primary school. To be honest, in the area that I grew up in, there are quite a few people that I recognise from being younger, and like some of them went to primary school with, some of them I just know from the area, and like this is quite actually very sad.
Yeah.
They are clearly like they're not okay. They're suffering with addiction. I can't specifically say what addiction they have.
Yeah.
But I can see, I don't want to just be like, oh, they're on crack. I don't know that it's crack, but obviously their actions are synonymous with somebody on crack.
Yeah.
But, seeing people that you grew up with
Sad.
in that space, like literally walking around the street like a zombie,
Yeah.
driving past them, like it's very scary to me. But what's more scary is that slippery slope.
Yeah.
How
done.
easy it is to fall into that, and how is this happening? Yeah.
They need to ban skunk, first of all. Like, there needs
Well-
to actually be, like, yes, there needs to be a war on drugs, but there actually needs to be a war on skunk, because I think 70% of the people that I know that have like I've seen like a change in their mental health, like a visible, noticeable change. They haven't even got to tell me. I can tell like something's not quite right, because of weed. It's because of what they're smoking, innit? And I think people aren't fully aware, because even I'll have conversations with my friends that smoke like regularly, and they're not aware of like the difference between like what you're smoking, innit? Like if you're smoking skunk, that's crazy, because you only have to open up the bag and you can smell it.
Do you know the difference?
Yeah, because it stinks.
But the truth of the matter is, people ain't looking to govern what they smoke like that.
They don't care. They
People
just want to get high.
A 10 bag, they want a 2.
But you are going to lose your mind. If you have that some people are more prone to schizophrenia, like, so if you have like a history of it in your family, then you are like, there's a possibility that you take one wrong drug or one wrong pill or smoke one wrong spliff that's laced with whatever, you're done. That's it. Like, and it's gonna be very hard, if not impossible, for you to get your mind back to its normal state. And I think there needs to be more of like awareness on that, especially like children, like the youth. Do you know what I mean? As a teen,
I think that sticky age of about like 13, 14 up until about
where
18,
someone's gonna say to you, do you want to smoke this, or do you want to try this?
But then realistically, like from a non-smoker's perspective, if I was around my friends who smoked back in the day, I wouldn't know
what it is.
Yeah, so I wouldn't be able to.
But that's my point. That's my point. And I think,
do you know what? Realistically, back in the day, I think you might have been okay, but now I think London's changed so much. That is the weed is definitely different. Like, I don't think, even the other day I saw something about this new thing that's come out, pink cocaine, which is basically like cocaine mixed with this, mixed with that, and mixed with ket and something else. And that's what people are taking now. So it's like, as the years are going on, these drugs are evolving. You talk about skunk. Skunk 10 years ago ain't the same skunk from now. No. So that's part of the issue as well, that things are being constantly introduced. I mean, we see people on Skid Row in LA with this fentanyl. Where was fentanyl 10 years ago? It went around. So it's just getting worse with that, I think. And that's kind of
scary. It just becomes an epidemic.
It does.
Like, once like one person tries it, then they pass it on to their next friend. And obviously once you start smoking it or taking it, you need it. Do you know what I mean? You want it.
But that's the difficulty about making it legalized. Because I think that with that being done, it opens a whole new can of. Yes, people will be selling it on the counter, the good stuff, but then it's also people who are going to be not selling it on the counter who haven't got licenses that will be selling the bad stuff. But that's what I'm saying. And it's just we can go on.
We could go on. We could go on.
I just think the whole it's different now. It's a different ballgame because you're seeing it in people. I remember I saw someone who I've known probably since college. And I'm looking at his Instagram and I'm just thinking, yo, what's going on?
Yeah, it's actually sad more than anything when you see something
what's actually
like that.
going on.
In the world. I have had the same experience. Like, you know, when you don't see people from time to time, and then you might like, they find you on social media, you find them, and then you're like, oh, okay, you check in, see how they're doing. And it's like, you can tell by like their pattern of like, their behavior, like their what they're posting, what they're saying, like the lack of like filter. And that's not to say anyone needs to, you know, filter themselves or present themselves in a certain way, but
you know what's socially acceptable.
Like there are certain things that's like, bro, you wouldn't say that. Like, but he's just doing it big and brazen, and it makes me sad, and it makes me sad, and it also does make me scared, innit? Because you could smoke one wrong thing, pick up one wrong thing, and like that's it. Your mind's gone. Do you know what I mean? And that is a scary place.
Close to home. Well, closer to home than what. That usually
when you have memories of someone where you knew them in their sane mind, and then it's like, what I always wonder, like, okay, what was the, because I believe there's always a trigger. Yes, it's like what was actually like. And
what were you suffering with? That's always a hard.
Sometimes it's just the wrong crowd as well.
Yeah, like, sometimes the wrong crowd, bereavement.
I think grief for a lot of people, because then you're trying to escape it, you're trying to run from it, or sometimes not grief, you're just running from your problems. But me, I'm the first to kind of, you see, if I feel like my friend is like, someone close to me is doing something that they shouldn't be doing, or they're doing it in the wrong way, or they're using it for the wrong reasons, where it's like you're trying to run from your demons or whatever, I'm the first to kind of say like, yo, like, you need to stick a pin. Because that could be the difference between somebody that's like hooked on something for years as opposed to like them actually knowing, okay, cool, this is my limit. Do you know what I mean?
And the truth is, any drug-induced like psychosis is very hard to come back from. People battle their mental health for years. They would stay. You can take your meds for years and years and years and be fine. One day you stop taking your meds, you're back to square one. So it's one of those things that is like, it really has long-lasting. It's not just something like you might have a little bit of mental health. You might have a psychosis and you're okay by next year. Like, it doesn't work like that. No. So it really will have
long-lasting effect.
Yeah.
Only ever by the grace of God, by the way. But yeah, I hear you. There's best chance is just your, just peak. Yeah.
I mean, there's so much more to say on it, to be honest
So
with you.
much.
There
more to
is.
say.
There is always so much more to say.
I know.
Always have. No, but
Maybe we should go.
That's why you should just keep watching us.
Yeah.
We got a lot to say.
y'all need to stay to the end. Those who made it this far.
I don't know.
What else to you?
We've got any time? We've got time for tequila talks. We haven't got much time.
Well, we do have 3 minutes. Maybe if we
do
speed
it.
it up.
We wasn't doing tequila talks.
What was we gonna do?
We was gonna do just the
Is that for the next
words
one?
of advice.
What do you want? Do you want some
Oh,
advice?
words of advice. I suppose that's quite relevant for this
Go on, girl.
episode.
Start us off
Yeah.
then. What would you say?
Well,
What would you? Oh,
I was going to say, do you know what? Funny. Not funny. It's not funny. It's actually not funny. When you said about ADHD, I had this same thought because
did you?
I actually did, but I thought, I'm not going to say anything to anyone because everyone's going to think, oh, here she goes. But
That's what my mum said. But I was like, oh, okay, another thing. Blame me for it.
But I was speaking to someone, a couple of people that I have around me was saying that they have ADHD. And when they were saying about how their mind works, it made me think, like, you know, because I was thinking like certain things that they say and do, and I don't know, like it just made me think, but I've not gone to anyone and I don't know if I would, but I'm not afraid to.
Why wouldn't you?
Just because I think like, what difference is it going to make?
See, I had that same thought. That same
I don't think you
thought.
can change that, can you? Can you?
Well, no, but you can
Just understand the way that your mind works.
You can. I guess it kind of helps you understand. Okay, things make sense for you, innit? Like, okay, you're not necessarily lazy, or you're not necessarily just like you're not just a moany bitch. Basically, like there are no because the symptoms vary, and it could be a thing where they turn around and say, no, you're like, you don't have it or whatever.
yeah.
But I think having that assurance sometimes and if the opportunity to have medication if you want to, innit? I know not everybody chooses to go down that route, but I think because of the increase of people being diagnosed and people like medicating for it and people that say the way that their quality of life improves when they do have that medication because it just kind of calms some of the noise that you might be experiencing. Yeah.
Well, who knows?
Is that your word of advice or?
No. That was just something that I was going to
okay.
say when you said what was I going to say. My word of advice would be, if you feel like you're suffering with anything or you're feeling down, like reach out to somebody and speak about it. I know a lot of people don't like to share certain things, or it's like that you feel embarrassed or whatever. I don't know. Like I'm very much a sharer. That's like my sort of therapy. I know not everyone's like that, but it's always good to have like a listening ear that might make you feel better in certain situations. So that's my word of advice. Anyone else?
Love that.
Don't be scared to be vulnerable. I think in most cases that it's like a taboo to have mental health or to have you feel like you may have this particular symptom for something and you kind of run from it rather than looking at it and actually addressing it or seeking advice or help for it. But yeah, just learn to be vulnerable, obviously where it feels safe and people you can trust, whether that be a healthcare provider or a family member. But sometimes when you share things that you may be experiencing, you get the support to be able to deal with it and kind of navigate how to go around it. So yeah, just be vulnerable, people you feel safe with, because that really does help. You don't have to go through things alone. We shouldn't as well. That's not how life should be, I don't think either. So yeah, be vulnerable where you feel safe.
I feel like mine is like be vigilant, be vigilant in not just like wary of danger or wary of like people with mental health because they're literally fine, but in terms of like knowledge, like if you see something in the media and you feel like, okay, cool, this seems like it could be real, it might be an agenda, like do your research, seek the knowledge, like be vigilant enough to question things and do research and ask and actually go out and gather your own opinion, form your own opinion on it, because I think it's really important in these times. We can be like led, everyone's got a lot to say about all of these topics that we've spoken about and valid points, things that people have experienced, it's all valid, but just do your own research, you know.
And sorry, just to cut and to add.
Yeah.
I think that's a very valid point. Like we're seeing what's happened with the the young boy who killed the 3 girls and other people who were in care that were in critical condition.
Yeah.
And we've seen how, people have reacted to it and they've now, assuming that is the Muslim community or the Islam community that's sort of caused this issue. And now they're rioting against Islamic people. And you're thinking the person that actually committed the crime wasn't actually...
And it just takes away from what happened, doesn't it?
They
really?
were actually Christians. So it's just like,
takes away
seek
from
knowledge and actually know what you're... Educate yourself to understand
course.
what's actually on ground and then also ask yourself, what are you actually fighting for?
Yeah.
What are you actually fighting for here? Anyway, on topic
And
of
like
topic,
thoughts
but-
and prayers with the families of those girls as well.
100%.
Because just honestly,
100%.
was a lot. Yes, your words of advice?
My word of advice would be to support where you can, like to offer your support as opposed to passing judgment, as opposed to like if you feel like somebody does need that extra help or, don't be afraid to, it can be very uncomfortable. I've been in a position where I've had to kind of say to someone like, I think you're having an episode, do you know what I mean? And it's not really a comfortable place to be in, especially with those close to you. But I would rather have those uncomfortable conversations than see them, not get the support, not get the help, and maybe crash out in a different way. And I think, there's been stigma associated with mental health for a long time, and I doubt that stigma will ever go away, unfortunately, because we live in a world of judgment. But I do believe that rather than judging, offer them support, listen to them, try and understand why they're behaving in this way or what they are actually going through. Because if you haven't had to suffer in that way, then you should count yourself lucky, because you've got a working brain that doesn't have any kind of imbalance, but a lot of people are suffering. So
I like that you thought of it from that angle, because even I saw one interview, I can't remember just quickly the artist, but he got sectioned. He suffers with schizophrenia. If I can put in the bio or whatever, I will, all the comments, whatever. Gosh, I feel sick after eating all the sweets. No, he was basically saying that with schizophrenia or paranoid schizophrenia, whichever one it was, it basically feels like you're in a VR and you're in a world with all your deepest, darkest fears, and everything that's out there is coming at you, and you can't, everything's coming after you. He was like, his experience of an episode, that's what it feels like. And it's like you're out of breath, you're running from everything. It just feels like everything. So imagine all your scared, your deepest, darkest fears, you're in that world. So when he said that, I'm listening to that interview, I will try and link it because it's actually very interesting. When he said that, it gave me a perspective, because I didn't understand what I haven't had that situation, God forbid I ever will, but to understand from his perspective how scared he was. And when you see people having mental health crisis, I know I certainly had maybe a uneducated mind, you think they're just a scary person, they haven't taken their meds, they're they've absconded from wherever, but realistically they are probably just as scared as well, innit?
Well,
so
they're people just like me.
they are,
do you know
they
what I mean?
are.
And they're not always. Sometimes they're millionaires. Sometimes they're people that have achieved, amazing things.
Of course.
That are very loved and have family and all of that stuff. So it's don't just assume that they're going through something. That's not my problem. I think it's everyone's problem.
That's good to be kind as well. Be
Empathy's
kind, be
key.
vigilant, but be kind, best part.
Well, it's a wrap, y'all.
Wow.
I actually enjoyed that conversation.
Yeah, it felt like it went very quick.
It did.
Don't forget to
always does.
comment,
subscribe,
Follow us.
Yeah,
Let
and-
us know about the studios. We're keen to know.
And also about the conversation, because somebody messaged in about the conversation. I think it was one of you guys spoke on PCOS.
somebody messaged us on
So-
TikTok. Shout out Alyssa, one of our loyal viewers, followers. And she was relating to the topic.
If we had a goodie bag, we would send one to you.
Coming, girl, you first in line, okay?
So just let us know.
Yes, and stay tuned for our next episode.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.